welcome to everyone. Today's webinar is presented by KKC UAE in collaboration with Octa AI and will focus on the increasingly significant domain of e-invoicing. This session is meant to be practical, real, and genuinely useful. We are going to walk you through actual scenarios, real challenges, and how the new FTA guidance plays out in day-to-day operations. KKC Management Consultant LLC is a Dubai-based consulting and advisory firm and an FTA-approved tax agency for both VAT and corporate tax. The firm serves as a dedicated partner to businesses navigating the evolving UAE market and provides comprehensive, personalized solutions across IFRS advisory, taxation, CFO services, risk advisory, and end-to-end business support, combining deep local expertise with strategic insight to help organizations achieve compliance and start a sustainable growth. KKC UAE emphasizes building long-term client relationships through personalized service, integrity, and agility while leveraging technology and proven methodologies to deliver efficient, high-quality outcomes for businesses across sectors. Joining us today is Amit Chaturvedi, CEO and partner at KKC UAE. He's an FTA-approved corporate tax agent and a DFSA-authorized finance officer with strong specialization in DIFC and ADGM regulatory frameworks, UAE VAT and corporate tax, and evolving global tax standards. A seasoned chartered accountant with over 20 years of experience in financial services, Amit leads the firm's strategic direction, bringing deep expertise in regulatory compliance, taxation, and financial advisory across the UAE. Before taking on his leadership in 2025, Amit built an extensive career across leading Indian banking institutions in DIFC, such as ICICI Bank, Kotak Mahindra Bank, and Axis Bank, where he drove initiatives in financial planning, IFRS reporting, and operational excellence. Amit, over to you.
Thank you, Rishka, for a warm introduction. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. Many of you have already attended several sessions on invoicing, five-corner model, 51, data fields, supplier ASP, buyer ASP, and all the theory. But let's be honest, most of those sessions on invoicing, the five-corner model, etc., stay very high level. What usually missing is the part everybody actually wants to understand. Everybody wants to know. How does this work in real life? What does the system actually looks like when you are using it on day-to-day basis? That's exactly what today's webinar is different. Before we jump into the updates and the demo, I want to highlight something important. Most of us implemented VAT in 2018. We reviewed our positions then maybe once or twice, and then naturally we got pulled into everything else: regulatory reporting, financial reporting, taxation, operation, VAT, deadlines, audits. And with the pace of change today, VAT updates, corporate tax, GMTT, IFRS changes, sector-specific guidelines, it is nearly impossible to stay on top of everything all the time. But this is the time. This is the right time or right moment to pause and reassess our VAT positions. This is the time to correct earlier implementation if needed. This is the time to have third eye review of your tax or VAT positions. And timing matters because FTA is extremely active right now. Like for e-invoicing, they have provided 5 different guidelines in a year's or year and a half, 18 months time. So we need to review our past decision. We need to review our positions, and here where KKC fits in. KKC has a 90 years old legacy in India, serving major banks and wealth management fund as an advisor, external auditor, internal auditor, or tax specialist. We understand the BFSI landscape very well, end to end, and that's the expertise we bring into the UAE. Myself also is a banker, having 13 years experience with DFC entity, serving as authorized individual approved from DFSA for category 1 month. Now the question everybody would have in the mind: why Octa AI? I get this question all the time: why Octa AI? The answer is, Quite simple. If you ask me, Octa AI delivers true end-to-end solutions. So whatever is there in mind, wherever you are spending your time on, automation, you are prepping a report wherein you expend, almost 2 or 3 hours. You are doing a repetitive task wherein your expertise is not needed. Here we can use Octa AI. And Octa AI, for invoicing, Octa AI has already partnered with a leading ASP, which means you need not to get to deal with multiple vendors, multiple integration, ERP, ASP, and AI platforms. Everything is you can find everything at a one place. So I can say you will find a single ecosystem, single workflow, single point of accountability. Now, what is the role of KKC? So when you open KKC, you are choosing a fully managed end-to-end stress-free implementation. We take care of everything, starting with the demo, conducting a detailed gap analysis, reviewing your current positions, gap analysis, ERP setup, with coordinating with Octa AI for smooth integration, smooth setup. We can assist in your day-to-day queries. We can coordinate with your ERP, with your ASP, Octa AI, and FTA. So because KKC is an approved partner with of Octa AI, you get a seamless, unified experience, not multiple vendors working in silos. With KKC, you don't just get compliance, you get peace of mind. Together, this is a one-stop solution which provides you automation, accuracy, compliance, correctness, and complete support all under one roof. Thank you again. I will not take much of your time, and I will hand over to Rishika for further research. Thank you.
Insightful address. Now, I'd like to introduce Forum. Forum holds as a director at KKC UAE and is an FTA approved VAT agent. Before stepping into her role in 2025, Forum built a strong track record across both industry and consulting, advising clients across various sectors including manufacturing, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, and IT. She specializes in direct tax strategy, VAT compliance, return filing, and complex tax litigations and dispute resolution, helping businesses navigate audits, optimize structure, and achieve efficient compliant outcomes with tax authorities. Forum is a member of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India (ICAI) and holds advanced certifications in UAE corporate tax and diploma in UAE VAT from ATT UK. With her hands-on experience, deep regulatory knowledge, and practical approach, she brings a sharp, solution-oriented perspective to supporting businesses in an evolving tax landscape. Forum, over to you.
Thank you, Rishika, for such a warm introduction. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining today's session. This session is more going to be on a practical scenario rather than just going through the knowledge slides. Over the next few minutes, we'll cover basics of e-invoicing in a gist, not taking it more technical or more elaborate, with focusing on the key updates which have just come up in June 2026. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, Forum.
Yeah. So, going through the basic concept as to what is e-invoicing. E-invoicing is a structured format, basically the PID XML, which has been adopted by UAE profile for the international paper standards. It's a exchange which is going to happen via accredited ASPs, which have been approved by federal tax authorities, and the tax data information is going to be exchanged in real time. There are a plethora of updates which have come up in the recent 18 months, as mentioned by Amit sir, tracking for which is almost, kind of not possible on a day-to-day basis until and unless you have a function who is at monitoring it on a regular basis. So the federal decree law brought the amendment into the VAT law for recognizing the electronic tax invoices and credit notes, followed by various ministerial decisions which define the scope of e-invoicing, the phase timelines, the accreditation of the ASPs, and the cabinet decision whereby the administrative violations have been covered in relation to invoicing obligations. For businesses, the key takeaway is e-invoicing is now not a compliance obligation. It's a compliance obligation, not merely a technological upgrade. It will impact your VAT reporting, your accounts receivable, your accounts payable, the ERP configurations, the vendor, the customer master data, the contract invoicing terms, the document retention, and even the internal approval workflows. The inclusions for e-invoicing is currently B2B and B2G for all the mainland and free zone entities who are conducting businesses in UAE, irrespective of the tax registration status. So even in case if a business is not registered but is conducting in a business in UAE, they must have to comply with the requirements of the e-invoicing. Currently, B2C is kept out of scope, and the government entities which are acting in sovereign capacity. Here, a major clear guidance is provided in respect of financial services, wherein the services are VAT exempt but are zero rated because those are export of services. So they've clarified that e-invoicing does not apply to those services. Then the certain international and airline transportation whereby EVA bill is generated. The intra-group VAT transactions wherein a relief period for 24 months is provided for the implementation of e-invoicing amongst the intra-VAT group transactions. And the investment holding companies wherein the companies are only generating passive income. This is a detailed phase rollout from 26 to 27, whereby July 1 marks the phase for pilot and voluntary implementation, followed by the phase 1. So phase 1 and phase 2 are the two phases whereby the e-invoicing is going to get implemented. Phase 1 falls for businesses whose revenue as per the latest financials is equal to or greater than 50 million. And the phase 2 is for less than 50 million. So the phase 1 goes live on Jan 27, followed by July 27, whereby phase 2 and the government entities will be live for e-invoicing. This is a decentralized PEPAL model which has been adopted by the UAE federal government. It starts with the supplier entering the invoice data into the sender's ASP, which will get then transmitted to the buyer's ASP along with real-time reporting to the FTA. The receiver's ASP will validate the receipt of data and transmit it to the buyer's portal, which will be then reflected in the systems of the buyer. So this is a decentralized model which the UAE government has adopted in relation to the e-invoicing framework. Now, what a compliant e-invoicing looks like. First of all, the format has to be PIN-TE XML. It will be the information will be flowing through the PayPal exchange to the accredited service providers. There are approximately 51 data fields which are to be covered for a valid compliant e-invoice tax. Then the documents which are covered are invoices and the credit notes. And there is a 14 days window for issuing the invoices and the credit notes once the business transaction happens. And the archival period which is required for the data storage is 5 years for all the businesses and 7 years in case of real estate transactions. So earlier we used to follow paper model, PDF models. Now these all are going to get scrapped and the e-invoicing is going to be live in a short period of time. So these are the breakup of the mandatory fields for e-invoicing, whereby 9 fields are in relation to the invoice details, 11 are related to the seller, then the 9 are related to the buyer details, then the document totals with individual totaling based on the invoices, then the tax breakdowns, and finally, the invoice line description. Then these are the document types which get covered under the e-invoicing. That are the electronic tax notes, tax credit notes, commercial invoices, electronic credit notes, self-billed electronic invoices, and electronic credit notes. Then, in addition to the 51 fields, there are various additional scenarios which are to be considered, which have been provided by FTA for additional clarification, which are free zone person, deemed supplies, the profit margin scheme, the summary invoices, the continuous supplies, and the supplies through the e-commerce. Then are the e-invoicing violations which have been approved via Cabinet Decision 106. This is a major non-compliance, which can result in administrative penalties. So the later you implement and appoint the ASP, the penalties are going to be higher. Starts with 5,000 per month of delay, with the compliance timelines being met at various stages. Then failure to issue electronic invoices and credit notes provide for a penalty of AD 100 for each invoice and credit note, which is capped at 5,000 per month. Then failure to notify the FTA of the system failure, which is 2 business days from the date of failure, and the failure of the issuer to notify the appointed ASP for the changes which are made to the base data registered with the FTA. Then these are the 6 steps to the e-invoicing readiness. We recommend that a initial stage is the tax impact assessment, which has to be conducted, which is basically a gap assessment. Gap assessment to verify the VAT treatment, the invoicing flows, the tax codes, the credit notes processes, and to prevent the VAT leakages. Then second is to mobilize the team, which is combining the functions of operations, IT, tax, and finance to work under a single program to make this process transition a smooth framework. Then is the selection of ASP, followed by adapting the ERP and data with the e-invoicing requirements, that is updation of the master data related to the customers, vendors, and the invoice flows which is happening within the ERP. Then testing in a sandbox, conducting beta testing in relation to the various business scenarios which are applicable for the particular entity. And then the final one is going live and monitoring the updates continuously in relation to the invoicing framework which comes up. So the goal is not just to go live at 1st January. The goal is to operate smoothly and remain compliant on the go live date. Then this comes the crucial part, which is the key updates, which are issued on June 26th. The ministry has provided certain appendices for material implications in relation to the storage responsibilities, the ASP responsibilities in relation to the transaction logs, the advance payments, and the retention. So what has really changed? The definition of data residency being within the state has been globally accepted to mention that the global cloud is permitted, meaning thereby that in case if the server is outside UAE, but the data is accessible, the retention of the data is there with the taxpayer, then that within the state is complied with. Then ASP logs, which were earlier not defined separately, have been defined to include transactional logs distinct from the invoice data, along with advance payments and retention clarifications, which are in the following slides. The storage obligation and the ASP responsibilities. Even though the storage obligation may be delegated to the ASP on the cloud platform for the tax invoices or the data which is getting processed through the ASP's platform, but the legal and the primary responsibility for retention and the FTA availability rests with the taxpayer. Then within the state, as we discussed, it may be outside the state, provided the access, ease of access, data integrity, and security is guaranteed throughout the retention period. And the invoice data constitutes the tax documentation, meaning thereby whatever the 51 mandatory data fields data is present in an invoice constitutes the invoice data, whereas ASP transaction log refers to the evidencing, routing, and transmission of data over the BEPOL model, which has to be preserved by the ASP. In terms of advance payments, a tax invoice must be issued for the advance payment which has been received, and the final invoice shall cover only the remaining balance, not the entire contract value, including the advance. And both the invoices will be transmitted through the e-invoicing and will be reported to FTA in the real time. It is based on the date of supply rules, which provide for, and the time of supply, which has been provided under the FTA law. Then comes the retention amount. The retention is treated as a deferred consideration until it is met. So once the conditions for retention are met and when the payment has been released, the tax point and invoicing must align with that agreed acceptance release event. This will be crucial for the construction, EPC, and project-based contracts. So now comes the real, how can KKC UAE support your e-invoicing? So we provide gap assessment. That is, we evaluate the flows, the VAT treatment of each transaction. We identify the gaps and inaccuracies in the VAT reporting. We assess the leakages and align the processes with your e-invoicing requirements for any additional considerations which have to be considered during this entire journey. Then comes the readiness assessment. We will assist you in identification of whether your current data, systems, people, and processes are ready for the e-invoicing journey. Then we'll assist you with during the integration of your existing systems with the ASP systems. And integration testing will assist you for the beta testing of your use cases, covering all the business scenarios which are relevant to your entity. And we will also provide advisory and training to your finance, tax functions, procurement, and operational teams to understand the new processes, the responsibilities, and exceptional handling procedures. And now comes why partner with KKC. So we have been a local FTA expertise. We are an FTA approved tax agency for both corporate tax and VAT, with having hands-on knowledge experience regarding the FTA rulings, the invoicing specifications. We have been partnered with the most powerful ones, that is ASP partnership along with Octa. We have a proven delivery record for serving UAE businesses across the free zone and mainland entities with multiple jurisdictions. We have been a trusted tax compliance advisor with senior practitioners practicing across UAE VAT and corporate tax. We have a dedicated team of experts who will be steering your compliance throughout the invoicing journey. And we'll be proactively monitoring the updates received from FTA and ensuring it to get implemented throughout the e-invoicing framework. So as Rishika has already mentioned a little brief background regarding the KKC UAE, so I'll not take much of your time regarding this slide. To conclude, UAE e-invoicing is a major transformation in the way businesses will issue the invoices, report the VAT data, retain the records, and interact with customers and suppliers. So our message is clear. We must start now. We must assess early. We must choose carefully, test thoroughly, and operate confidently. And KKC can help you support across the tax compliance functions, your VAT advisory, the e-invoicing readiness, the ASP selection, integration testing, and ongoing advisory. Thank you for your time, and we'll be happy to assist you in assessing your current readiness and preparing a customized roadmap for your e-invoicing compliances. For any support, you can reach out to us at our email ID and contact number. Thank you, and over to you, Rishika.
Thank you, Forum. That was really helpful for building the base for our most awaited demo session. Now, I'd like to tell you guys more about Octa AI. Octa is the AI native finance automation platform that was built for modern finance teams and accounting firms. It handles accounts payable, accounts receivable, e-invoicing, reconciliation, and the full contract to cash workflow, with AI agents doing the heavy lifting. Today, more than 900 finance teams and accounting firms use Octa to run their operations. The company is backed by Quana Capital, Sadu Capital, 500 Global, Plus VC, and Supna Ventures. Joining us today is Nupur Mittal, co-founder and chief operating officer of Octa. Nupur leads product, growth, and operations at Octa, the AI native finance automation platform she co-founded in 2024 alongside John Santien. Before Octa, Nupur was the business owner and senior product manager at Kareem Pay, where she led key payment initiatives. Earlier in her career, she worked at Boston Consulting Group on strategy across financial services. Nupur holds a BTech from IIT BHU and an MBA from IIM Calcutta. She's one of the most thoughtful voices on what AI actually needs for finance teams and accounting firms in practice. We are very glad to have her with us today. Over to you, Nupur.
Thank you so much, Rishika. Hi, everyone. I think we have got a lot of information on what is e-invoicing, and thank you so much, Forum, so going into so much detail over there. And thanks a lot, Amit, I think, to giving this forum to all our participants to know about how AI is actually disrupting this part into it. Let me quickly go into the demo, which everybody is waiting for. How does this execute from our side? Let me share my screen. Great. So we'll dive into actually discussing the use case of e-invoicing. This is a quick glance of Okta platform. What you are seeing right now is basically your whole system is integrated. This is how the dashboard comes in. Let me walk you step by step on how does that actually work. So the first thing which we all talked about and forum actually deep dive into the ERP, where does your invoices lie? Where does that integration exist? So what we have in Okta, the main part is that we connect with multiple integrations which can be any accounting software which you use. And even I'll come to the part, if you don't use any accounting software, how can Excels be directly used in the system as well? So whether you are using Zoho, NetSuite, Oracle, Wafik, Zero, any accounting software which you are using, all can be get connected very simply. So I'll actually give you one instance. Let's say if I just want to click on connection of Zoho, there's no integration needed from your side. What it goes, it directly goes into the Zoho platform because I'm already, if you see, I'm already integrated in Zoho. I have my account over there. Okta is just going and asking for OAuth. So if you have to consider, no effort goes into integration. The direct system connection happens here. And that's the case for all the accounting softwares we have. Once we have that, what it does is that it pull all the invoices which you have in your ERP system and it's present here. Now the part of how can we convert those into e-invoices, right? Because till now, all of us are very comfortable raising the invoices, sending it to our customers. But the key things come, how can that be e-invoices with the new regulation? If you see on the top, we have a specific section for e-invoice as well, because it is possible you have all the invoices and you want to start with the specific to test out even in the pilot stage, right? So we go into the e-invoice section, and for demo purposes, we have populated some of the e-invoices itself here. What I'll do is that let me quickly walk you through with one or two scenarios where we can actually give it a try of making it invoice from our side. Okay, let's do that. So here, if you see on the top of the screen is your general invoices, like what is the due date, what are the description, your VAT, the general detail. But if you go down, there's an e-invoice section where we have, and you can actually open the e-invoice. This has all the fields which Forum was talking about that you need to actually consider for e-invoicing. So these all gets populated as we pull the data from ERP or some of the files you might be storing as a master about your firm, about the buyer, some of the fields which are missing. A system will actually highlight it to you what all additional things which we need for e-invoice are missing. So let's say now there's address missing. Let me just quickly add, considering this an Abu Dhabi tower. For now, demo purposes, I'll mention Emirates. I'm mentioning Abu Dhabi, and then payment mode through which this invoice will be actually considered. So right now, for this purpose, I'm just mentioning cash. So let me save the changes. Okay, so now since we covered all the issues which you saw on the top, it's saying it's good to go to be submitted to FTA because all the required fields are actually present. So something like you should have buyer TRN number, you should have their details, the PEPAL ID number because that's very important when you are submitting. So all those are taken care itself here. Now we just go ahead and submit to FTA. So now if you see the status is submit to FTA, it has the time and it just take a second. If you see here where we were actually initially going to provide the details, the e-invoice is actually cleared by FTA. You see simply there's a record because Taxela is the ASP creditor we are partnered with. You have the ID of it. You even have the XML format which is needed for you to create for every invoice. So the entire audit of your e-invoice is present here with the downloadable Excel format. And on the top is your basic invoice which you all already consider. So that's an easy part that there's nothing additional you need and it's fully present. And if we go to the invoice section here, the ADNOC distribution one which we submit, and you can always go back and check the UUID is the one which comes from the FTA. So you know that, okay, this is cleared by FTA. This is completely from e-invoicing side considered, and whenever in future the details asked is the UUID you have to share from that side, and the XML format which we just showed here, which you can download. So that's an easy way. The another thing what we keep in mind is that whenever there are fields needed and you are not sure, we highlighted that you need these all details to be present. So you know that, okay, what is causing the error, why I'm not able to submit, why is there a specific field missing, with the requirements that why is it needed. So you also know that, okay, this specific invoice has further details to be considered. So that's how a very simple format. As I mentioned, you can actually integrate with ERP. You can also, we have different setup that you can just upload your full invoice data as a spreadsheet also. So you can just drop your Excel sheet with all the invoice data and start the e-invoice processing. So even if you don't have an accounting software or you're not using any ERP, very simple is that you can just upload the Excel sheet. You can even bulk upload for the e-invoicing part. Or as I was telling, like we can just get it from any of the customized ERP, pull it from the accounting software, or you can manually create as well invoice. So all the four possibilities exist in the platform, whichever is easy and convenient for you. You can start with. Even in the pilot phase, some of our customers we have seen with KKC partnership that they are just uploading few Excel sheets to start with e-invoicing. That's a very easy start to actually begin with and explore this platform. Now, the main part comes in that where do you provide your FTA information, right? Because you have to be registered with ASP, which KKC and Octa together partnered with the ASP here, and we have that license to do it. What you do is that you actually go, let me go into the business case, one second, and go to the invoicing section. Yeah. In the integration, we have this e-invoicing section. So whenever you start with us on the platform, you need to provide the basic details of your TRN number, your legal entity name, your registration details. That needs to be considered because using that information, which Emirates do you registered with, what's your PayPal address and scheme, this is something we will provide because we will connect you with the ASP. We will complete that entire process of you having this PayPal scheme and the PayPal address, because this is key when you are submitting any invoice for e-invoicing. This will be registered for yourself. So this we have already put it in our demo platform, and some contact information of your business owner will be needed. And once you have finished this, the entire process which I showed you on the e-invoicing starts working through. So in the demo platform, we actually integrated. So very simple, two things: upload your invoices or connect your accounting software in the invoice section, and in the settings, just provide your e-invoicing details, which as you start on day one, we will actually help you get the PayPal identity itself. Okay, I think we'll take the questions at the end. So I'm pretty sure you guys will have a lot of information. We covered the AR part of it. What if you are raising the invoices, right? So you need those two things simple on the platform. What if you are getting an e-invoice, right? You are the ones actually the buyer. So we come to the different tab, which is our payables, where all the vendor payments which you are supposed to do. So definitely you are also going to get invoices which are e-invoiced from your vendor, right? So what we do is, let me actually simulate one of the payables part of it. So that's the other part of the journey. Let me quickly go into the business entity and simulate one of the setup. Just give me a moment. I'm just activating it on the demo platform as well. Okay, I should see here the setup. I'm just walking through also on the different parts of it. Okay, so what I have done is that I'm just going to send a simulated inbound e-invoice for now, just to show you that if a vendor is going to raise an e-invoice, how will it look like? So I'm just sending one e-invoice to us to simulate and show you on how it looks at payables. So we have actually considered 5378. If I go into the setup here and I will write. Yes, so this is the invoice which we have received from our customer. Let me show the e-invoice part also of Okay, so here is the one which we just now received it. From the e-invoice angle, this is a very simple invoice. You will just see here that they have, as a vendor, they have actually source as e-invoice. So you'll know that, okay, this is a legit e-invoice which is raised by your vendor, because over time when you are sending e-invoices, you have to be careful that you raise the invoice, but you also have to be careful that whatever invoices you are getting are actually raised through the FTA portal as well. So that gives you a clarity that whenever an invoice is raised, we have an identifier for you to check that if there was a proper PEPOL license with the FTA approved came in, we do that checking from our side and show you. If it's not the case, you can always go back to the vendor saying that this is not an FTA raised invoice, please raise it again. So that gives you an idea over here that, let me refresh, you can actually see the status also. Yeah. So here, if I go, yeah, so here if you see there's a, and then you can always go back and view the original document where you can, this is automatically pulled. So when a vendor is going to raise, you can actually see all that details which was considered from the FTA. So you also know that yes, the vendor actually raised an e-invoice from your side. With a small identifier, you can just filter it out. But if you want to go ahead and see for every invoice which your vendor raised, you can figure out that, okay, which ASP they used to actually raise it, what is their XML file. So entire thing from the accounts payable side also comes. So it's very important that you are not only liable to actually raise the invoice for from the FTA side, but you are also should be careful that whatever invoices you are going to get from 2027 onwards are also compliant from that side. Otherwise, you can always reject and say, we need an e-invoice here to be paid. Great. So that's a very just about how e-invoicing very easily work on the platform. There's not hardly any work from your side to be considered. Just roll up with KKC. They'll do the gap analysis. We as Okta will enroll you to the ASP and give you this platform access for easy to use from your side with the customer onboarding given from our side as well. Now, let me walk you through the entire AI on how that's working. Before I go into it, I just wanted to give you a little bit overview on our full platform so that I can show you the agents working in it. The simple thing from our side is that we become the core of all the finance stack tools which your team will be using, right? Whether we just talked about the accounting softwares, not just limited to accounting software, we integrate with the payment gateway so that if you are raising any invoices which needs to be paid by card, any of the payment providers, we can connect with it. We have our own internal also at a good discounted rate. We connect with CRMs, even your internal databases, Excel sheets, wherever you store the data, that's easily connectable. Why that is important from our side is that there's a journey of us helping you go into that AI agent era. And it won't happen instantly, right? If you come on board, it's not like first day you have every AI agents working. Where you stand today is that you will have lot of manual tasks, manual process happening, right? Lot of Excels going around. That's like month end, you know, that's there's literally 10 to 12 Excels roaming around everywhere. Our approach here is that with KKC, we take you with the phase A approach, where we are going to just automate some of your manual tasks. Nothing agentic, nothing AI coming in. Very simple, figuring out what are your manual tasks and how can we automate it. I'll show you quickly on the platform. Once that goes through, it takes a couple of weeks, we automate that task. Now come the AI agents. So now once you have automated those tasks, it's very simple to bring an AI agent to start executing. But we all know that we still want to be part of that full loop. So we consider team to be in that loop so that they can keep reviewing on what AI is doing and only take action once it is reviewed or given a go ahead from someone in the team itself. So human in the loop is a very big concept for all our customers, that agents execute, but it only get to the final stage once it is reviewed by human. So let's say if you have created invoices, unless it is not reviewed by someone in the team, it won't go out to the customer because that lens they want to do. This is for a couple of months we run out. So your manual task reduces by 70-80% here, but you still have 20-25% task to review it. Now comes the full autonomous task where agents can start doing it and you just have to review it at the end of the week or month end. That's it. You don't have to come daily on the platform and do that. This takes 6 to 8 months, I will say, because you are still understanding where AI is working, where you have gotten the confidence. Whichever task you start feeling that AI is actually 100% right all the time, you start making it autonomous. That let agents itself review their work and let it go out. So let's say if any invoice is less than 5,000 dirhams and you're confident your team is reviewing it for past 3 months and it's actually 100% accurate every time, you can put it in an autonomous loop where agent is going to review from their side itself and let it run. So your even that 20-25% gets reduced. So this entire chain of from taking you from phase A, just automating your simple task, to the final stage of phase V, where everyone is actually moving towards, we help you reach that stage. So it's also very comfortable for you to knowing from automation to AI agent to autonomous, how is your process going to change. Now, why is it important from our side is that the bottom part of your this diagram, if you see integrations, that was a core thing which I mentioned, right, and showed you on the platform. That once done from your system, whether it is ERP, whether it is CRM, whether it is a payment gateway, that gives you an entire data layer of having all your information at one place. When that happens, you have the financial knowledge graphs. Let's say you have contracts, purchase order at one, at let's say OneDrive, Google Drive. You have invoices creating in ERP system. You have payments coming in the bank statements. So when it all consolidate, that data layer actually becomes a very good financial knowledge graph for you. This is the core of making any agent work on top of it. So what I mentioned as phase A, we just automate some of the processes because now we have the full data layer. We know how that process should work. We automate some part of it. Eventually, we'll make it autonomous where agents come in. Every agent has its own role, memory, and the tools they can access. For you, it's just a user interface, which I was going to show in the demo. That's a simple user interface. All this is happening in the background. So you won't even know that, okay, this is the full thing happening from integration to data layer to knowledge graph getting created and then agents working with the memory all in the background. You have a simple user interface which you can use on mobile, on your desktop, anywhere. And then what happens is that the different types of agents come out of it. So you get like an invoicing agent who's just totally working on making sure first of the month, let's get all the data, create invoices in let's say Zoho Books or in NetSuite or any of the ERP, follows up with the customer, reconciling whatever payment is coming. So entire suite of agents then start easily working towards it. I think enough of the context on what we do from our side. I'll go jump into the demo itself. I'll take 5 minutes because I really want to leave some parts of it to give you idea on some of the questions you might have about the platform as well. So here, the idea here is that the dashboard, which I was talking about, the data layer and the idea of having financial knowledge graph, once you have everything connected, let's say it's very simple. You just have to go, let's say I'm a CFO, I'm creating my monthly dashboard. I just name it. I just actually figure out what widgets I want to consider because everything now is integrated from our system. Let's say I want to see what's the accounts receivable, what's the DSO health, financial health. As I'm actually going through, you see here below the dashboard is getting created. I want to see aging balance, DSO trend. All that is getting added here. Once you are good to go, you have your own dashboard. You can, it's so simple that you can just drag and drop and say, okay, I actually want to keep DSO above and the accounts receivable is my top priority. I want to see that number in full, and you can like adjust. So it's so user friendly that you don't have to now wait for someone in the team to give you that knowledge graph itself. You have it on your own to be created here, and you can, everyone in the team, what we have seen, if you are actually working as an accountant, maybe you have to create your own dashboards and you might be more focused on, let me just see which are the top customers I need to actually figure out what's the activity of the platform, how much follow-ups have we done it, what's my task remaining, and your dashboard will totally look very different at this stage. So that's the beauty of ease of the platform, that everyone has their own access to figure out how to do. Same thing if I go quickly into report section. You have your own reports, but how can AI actually play a role here is that you just go ahead and try, let's say I'm just going to say, because everything exists from my side, I'll say create payment election for last 3 months, right? And I just can write in simple language, and I'm given a very easy prompt. Usually, our customers give a very big 5, 6 liner prompt to create the full report with the logic itself. So you can actually do that. And it just creates that because the key source of data exists. Whether it's just an Excel you have uploaded, very rough Excel with all the data all over the place, it will just create that and it will give you insights about it. The beauty is that because it's integrated across different systems, your insights then starts coming in because you can always say contracts raised in OneDrive. Have we raised all the invoices? It will actually give you that full table visibility. These are the contracts, these are the invoices, two are actually missing. So that all comes in from the angle that very easy from our side to actually integrate that full space of whether it's accounting software, CRM, payment gateways, very custom platforms like Unicommerce, making sure WhatsApp, Gmail, everything is coming into one place. That gives the power. And one last step I actually wanted to give you on automation itself. How do you build your own automations, right? So let's say if I just want to have a simple automation in the sense that if any invoice is more than, and everything is like very user friendly, you just have to write it. Raise approval task for, I'll just write my email ID. Okay, so I just mentioned that if any invoice is more than 5,000, raise an approval task. And this is a very simple one, like you can create a very heavy one. What it will do is that it will actually create a series of sequence it needs to follow to make sure that this happens whenever any invoice is raised more than 5,000, there should be an approval task. It will just recheck with you. You can obviously go back and forth if you want to modify it. But if it looks good, you go ahead and actually see that that task is completed. So what it has created that it will do actually for invoice created, you can choose which customers or you can just say all customers. It has picked up the condition and it has mentioned that it will create the task with high priority on those into account. Now you can also assign it to specific people in the team. All those is basically further customization you can do. You can visualize it because it was a very simple task, so it just quickly created it. But the idea is that you can just save and test this full flow is working or not, and you have your first simple automation ready. Now you can go ahead and make like a very complex automation that if the customer has responded to send a contract and nobody has responded in 24 hours, then raise an email to me with high priority. Very complex one you can just start creating on yourself. So that's the beauty of it, that everything is very user friendly in this entire platform where you can actually work. You also have different things like you can have your own task created. And I actually wanted to show one simple thing of how we connect from email also, because I right now mentioned how we connect with ERP as well. So let's say I'll just go into the system when you have, let me quickly go into the entities. Okay, so what we give you is that because lot of our work is either happening on WhatsApp or email, right? So you're getting lot of vendor invoices on email or you are getting lot of details on WhatsApp itself. So both are integrated from our platform. We for every client of ours, what we do is we give an inbox email address. So any invoices which are coming on your platform, you can either auto forward it or set up that as a forwarding mechanism. So let's say for this system, I have this, and let me try to actually send one of the invoices here. So I'm saying test. Imagine this is actually more of a forwarded invoices which might have come. And I'm just trying to show how that vendor management system can easily come. So I just took one invoice. I'm going to forward this to Octa's email ID. So I sent it across. Now, where I will go is pay bills above because it's a vendor invoice which we are supposed to pay. I'll just do a quick refresh. Oh, by the way, meanwhile, while I'm doing that, let me just show you quickly what that invoice was. So I actually uploaded this invoice. Okay, actually, let me see here. It might have come by now. Okay, so this is the invoice. I'll just refresh once so that it appears. So direct debit, this was the one which I actually sent across. And if you see here, it just got created right now when we were demoing it. You have the full details about when was it created because it pulled it directly from the email address itself. Just now I sent it from my email ID, so it passed all the details. Everything from the invoice side, if you see, it took up all the VAT, tax, all total details. It shows when was it created, and then you have the option to actually approve it, edit it, and it actually pulled all the details which was present in the invoice with the tax information and the right description as well. So you can now go ahead and also do the GL code mapping here, which actually gets pulled from your accounting software. So entire system is actually integrated with your internal email, WhatsApp as well, because there's what the key things come into the platform. And once it's there, okay, let me save it. Once it's there, then your entire agents start working on top of it with the automations which I was showing you across. I know we are short on time, so I can't go into detail. There's much more to show on the reconciliation, on reporting agents, multiple parts of it. But maybe I think Forum and Amit, I'll take a pause here because I think people will have questions.
Sure.
Thank you, Ripple, for providing us such a wonderful demo. Now let's go ahead and proceed to the Q&A session where our team will answer the questions you have posted in the chat throughout the webinar. So please put in any questions that you have. Our team is more than happy to answer them and yes. Let's just wait 2 minutes for you all to put in the questions.
So, Nupur, I have one question in my mind regarding data privacy. How Okta can, ensure about the data privacy?
Definitely, Amit. I think that's the key question because for anyone to actually come up with all the information and let agents work on it, data becomes a key driver. We make sure that we are compliant with all the certificates needed, specifically similar to any accounting software or the ASP providers have. So we are SOC 2, PCI, um, and GDPR compliant in this stage, and all the data is actually stored in encrypted form with the source inside the Emirates itself.
So, we have a question. Does the payment info also gets captured in Okta? Is this information also shared with the FTA?
So payment information is, yes, it's captured in Okta itself. It's not shared with FTA because your FTA journey ends at the point where you have to raise the e-invoice to the FTA portal. So they know that how much invoice is raised. Whether you have collected or not is not shared.
Participant can, raise hands so that we will unmute them, and in case they have any other question, we are happy to answer that. So we have another question from Nilendu. Will there be any periodic ratification capture time to time on data being transferred to the FTA?
I'll maybe pass Forum if you want to take this one.
Forum.
Yes.
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 Once the data is transmitted. Yeah, so once the invoice
Invoice is being processed through the e-invoicing ASP portal, there will be a timely capturing of all the data which is being transmitted to the FTA on a periodic basis, and the logs and the transaction logs will be created in real time with the data reporting requirements to the FTA and simultaneously having the transaction logs with the ASP.
Okay. Nupur, we have another question for you. Okta will have real-time data, or we need to push data from the system?
Oh, definitely. It's a real-time data. So you don't have to actually push any data. We pull it real-time from the accounting software or let's say any OneDrive, everything. So it's on a hourly, daily basis depending on the volume of the data you're considering.
So thank you, Nupur. So Forum, we have another question from Manish. For banking entity, what are the transaction will be required to generate invoices?
So for the banking entities, specifically in terms of financial services which are covered via a separate clarification and guide, what all transactions are being exempt in terms of VAT and are zero rated for the purpose of exports will be excluded from the invoicing requirements. However, the standard rated supplies will still be required to be invoiced through the invoicing framework along with the zero rated invoices. I hope
Thank,
that answers the question.
thank you. Forum. So we have another question from Manish. Once e-invoice generated, can we make changes or cancel?
Let me actually take this up because we get a lot of questions on Okta when you are raising the e-invoice. Once e-invoice is generated, you cannot make any changes on it. So that's the reason we have put so many filters and cautious alerts for you to make sure that all the required fields are present. We do our internal checks, making sure that you have not provided any wrong information. And we also let you send it to your vendor to also foolproof read it so that you don't end up submitting a wrong invoice. When you actually do it directly on ASP, they don't give you all those checks or anything. You actually end up generating a wrong invoice, then you have to apply a credit note and then again raise another invoice. So it's very important that the first time should be correct, otherwise you won't be able to make changes.
Right. Another question for you, Nupur. Who is the ASP provider between KKC and Okta? Also, do they have all the relevant certification for the security of data which was mandated by the FDA?
Correct. So our ESP provider is Taxila. They have all the relevant certificates. They are listed on the FTA portal as well as one of the ASP providers as well. And they also share once you start onboarding process, all that information is also shared as well.
We have another question. Is this your sample process, our ERP, Okta, ASP coordination, FTA?
I'll simplify it. So it's ERP, Okta. That's it. You don't
That's
have
it.
to worry
No
about
ASP or
anything.
no ATA. Correct.
Yeah, ASP, FT, everything comes inside Okta. So nothing else to be worried about.
The another question, B2B cover both registered and export sales, no need to cash sales.
So I'll cover this, Amita. So it applies for the transactions, business transactions, irrespective of the payment procedure, be it cash, be it credit. It covers all the B2B and the B2G invoices for both registered and export sales. It is irrespective of the transaction tax registration
And I would like
status.
to add here that Okta, whenever you have some kind of limitation, you need to send just standard rated invoices or export invoices. You can send all the invoices through Okta. However, they will not go to ASP. So there you can save your, lot of money. And you can have one integrated platform wherein the required invoices will go to, FTA through ASP, and other invoices like exporter invoices or where the buyers are not registered, you can send directly through Okta without any manual intervention. So it will reduce, lot of manual works, as well as you can save your time as well. So now other question, Tally can be linked with Okta?
So I think Manish here, Tally directly has not a direct APIs from the on-premise service. So what you have to do is that you have to do a manual push in case of Tally. So you can have the invoices, everything present in Tally, but there will be a manual push needed just from the sake of APIs of Tally is not available, unlike other accounting softwares.
We have another question. What about pricing? Is it subscription basis? So, Vinay, you
Yes.
can connect with us on
I
pricing.
think
We
Amit
will
will be
share
right
the
person
thing.
to take this.
So, anybody have any other question? Please feel free to ask. Uh, you know, so there is no question, Rishika.
That's all. Thank you for your questions. Feel free to reach out with our team anytime. We'll be more than happy to assist you.
So, we have another question. SLA will have to be entered between ASP or Okta.
We'll take care of all the SLAs
We will.
because we are the true source provider to making sure your all things are covered into it.
Then another question we have, from Nilendu, will there be more APIs developed with other ERPs?
I didn't get.
Will there be more APIs developed with other ERPs?
I think he's talking about more integrations
More
with done with
integration.
other ERPs. Yes, yes. So
Yes.
we do custom ERP integrations also. So any custom ERP you have and you are willing to use it, it's a few days efforts from our side where and we can go live.
Now we have another question. Can we integrate Odoo with Okta?
Definitely. It's already live. Customers are
Earlier.
using Odoo with Okta. So one of the common platform being used.
Then another question for SME with few sales and supply invoices and sales invoices, mostly outside UAE. Is Okta system applicable? Yes. Answer is yes. And I would like to mention that we are providing, very good solution with a very good prices at a very attractive prices. Another question, what if we have a customized transaction processing system internally developed with API facility? Can this be integrated?
Yes, Kalpesh.
It can.
So that can be, as long as you can give us the API access, it can be integrated.
Then we have another question. What is the time period required to link the IT system with ESP?
I think that's the
There's
one
it
forum.
depends upon, what is the system you are using and we need
Correct,
to
correct.
assess
We
that,
will just need to evaluate
evaluate
from
that.
that angle.
It differs from system to system. Then system integration is the only option, or is there any file upload option available if one doesn't want to go with the integration? So answer is yes. Without system integration, you can upload the files if you want to do. Another question, if possible, now can you provide demo for Excel upload part or for ERPs which are not integrated? I think we have shown the demo. Further, in case you require any more demo, you can connect with us. We will provide you separately with any kind of, requirement or demos. We are happy to, answer your those requirements.
Definitely. I think we can do a detailed demo, maybe worth
Correct.
reaching out to Amit directly, and we can set up a detailed demo of just Excel upload as well.
Okay, so again, thank you for your questions, and you can reach out to our team whenever you want. They'll be more than happy to assist you. Thank you to everyone for joining us today and for being part of the session. We hope that the insights shared were helpful and gave you a clear picture of the invoicing updates and what's ahead. A big thank you as well to our speakers for their time and expertise. That's all from our side for now. We appreciate you for being here and we wish you a great rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Rishika. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. We will improve.